Hi guys, welcome back to Do So Confidently and our Harry Potter series where I as a 30, I was 33 when I read these, I'm 34 now, but as basically a pretty well-established adult has picked up the Harry Potter series for the first time. And this book is the Half-Blood Prince. Let's see if I can put this now. I hated a little bit on the last book. This one, I will say I rather enjoyed this one. I started getting frustrated with some of the character development at this point, like truly frustrated with the character development. I did not feel like Hermione was growing at all. She still had the same level of mothering, the same level of griping, complaining, of just the annoying Harry's always wrong type attitude. I was not a fan of not being able to see her grow as much as I would have liked to over this particular year. That being said, I thought the bit with the Half-Blood Prince was rather clever. I guessed who the Half-Blood Prince was fairly early, but I would probably say I had 3 guesses that I never really could pick one of the 3. And the who it turns out happened to be one of my 3. So that being said, I picked it out early, but I did not narrow down who it was very quickly. I loved the development of Snape in this book. Still a character I love to hate. Most people I've been hearing have been hating on Umbridge. I still hate on Snape a bit, mainly just for the way he deals with things. However, I do admire, I guess his steadfastness, because there's character development, but he doesn't change. You just understand more about him, and I can appreciate that. Do I like the storytelling? The storytelling is pretty good in this book. The angst and anger levels out a little bit, so I would let whichever kid I let read the last book could read this one right after. It still deals very heavily with very dark issues, and divination is starting to take a more prominent role and at this point, and I do not like that. That is a personal preference, not a literature critique. But I would prefer not to see divination in the series, period. It's a part of the series, and she's making it work. I wish it was just a little bit less prominent. I like how, I like the actual storyline of this book. It's fairly straightforward. This is probably what I would determine to be the least eventful of all the books. It felt more drawn out because it was the same problem that they were trying to solve over and over and over again. Well, the underlying, the whole thing about the Half-Blood Prince was very drawn out, almost needlessly, but it was the whole point of this particular book. Other things were happening and it kept me engaged. I just felt like the whole storyline of the Half-Blood Prince and figuring out who it was relatively drawn out. It could have been done in a shorter time frame, or it could have been figured out earlier and then used. There was a couple of different ways I could imagine it going. Not my story, not my problem. So I'm gonna kind of leave it there. I like the development of the emotional development for Harry, especially because he's starting to level out a little bit, but also because I thought it was kind of cute, the whole guys understanding girls or noticing girls. I will say I believe what is this, basically 11th grade for us US people is a little bit late for that. But I am also a big fan of not dating too early, so that's definitely a thing. I was not a fan with how, and okay, I think it was well written. However, there's definitely a cringe factor to the love storyline a part of this, and I think like it was obviously deliberately cringy, but I hated the cringe. Like having a brother who is married and another brother who has a fiance, I get a lot of PDA in my life. Well, more so between the brother and his fiance than the brother and his wife. But that being said, like I already have a lot of cringe worthiness PDA in my life, and this book was over the top in that. And not a fan, but good to the story. It was good to see these kids grow in ways other than just solving problems and using magic. So that was very intriguing. I'm gonna leave this book here. Again, I'm working on several months old knowledge at this point, so I'm trying not to spoil and / or mess up the storylines in my head. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this here. Again, be looking in the Discord, link in the description, for both a announcement for a talking stream, like a chill stream where we could just chat about these books with spoilers, as well as a channel that you can join if you're okay with not having, if you're okay with having it spoiled for you, if you haven't read it, to discuss the books more in detail. So I'm gonna leave it at that, and I'm going to go ahead and get you guys the next video for the Deathly Hallows. Ha! I remembered. All right, guys, I will see you in the next video.